And here we are, episode 12. Boom! I tell you what, guys, nothing. Look at Anthony. He is so fired up from his workouts, his pristine virgin eating. I mean, this guy, he's like an Italian tank. He really is.
Ridiculous lately. It's ridiculous.
It's incredible. You know what? Your poops must look like rabbit poop. When you have to go to the bathroom, it must look like a rabbit. I mean, seriously.
Much cleaner. Let's put it that way.
It's bad when we have to start with an apology to the audience.
Yeah, it is.
No. People love this kind of stuff.
No, we love hearing about bathroom humor. It's great.
Yeah, you got it.
Everyone needs to check out Anthony's page because he's your exercises are on there and you're doing.
He's really going.
Good.
I mean, he's got
there.
His biceps look like the Matterhorn peaks. I mean, they're brilliant. They're unbelievable. I'm serious.
I'm getting there, Mike. Your biceps
I'm working. I'm working
larger.
hard. No, I'm telling you, they're larger. You know why? Because the fat deposit from COVID. But I've been working hard.
Arms,
you've inspired me, man. I've been working really hard. The last month and a half, I kicked it up on my workouts and
look at you
back on my portion control, and I'm really starting to lean out a little in my face, which is good. I had like a Richard Nixon jowl.
I don't think
it was horrible.
Okay.
It was horrible.
You ever want to join the program?
It's a tough program. I don't think I'm man enough to join your program.
Program.
Stacey, how are you doing with everything, Stacey?
I was just gonna say that's right. It's because you two are constantly talking about how your exercise programs are going. Food is my thing. So I finally started what's called carb cycling. So, there's keto days with, smart carb days. And it's a week. I've lost 6 pounds.
That's incredible.
That's usually what happens.
That's
well done.
Well done. I thought your glasses look a little loose. I tried carb cycling, but
I noticed.
Carb cycling didn't work for me. I got on the stationary bike with a pizza. Didn't work.
Yeah,
I don't know. I must be different carb cycling. I don't know.
It's tough because when you're on the bike, there's nothing to do. You want to eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
You
exactly.
Eat it. So that's hard.
Hey, listen, this is called the Rocky Files podcast.
Yes.
So I guess we should talk about something Rocky related. And I'd like to, I noticed there was a comment. Stacey, what's Mike's last name?
Oh, it's Mike. I think it's Lena.
Mike, if we say it wrong, we apologize. Correct us if we said it wrong. Stacey, last week, we talked about the top 10 that everyone voted on.
Right.
And when I went back and rewatched the episode, I noticed I felt marginally different about my own sayings and so on. So go ahead, read what Mike wrote us because I'd like to address what he said.
Okay, super. So this was on our YouTube in the comments. He said, I was surprised a few weren't on the list, but I guess it's hard to narrow down to only 10. And he says, if he dies, he dies. I don't sweat you. There is no tomorrow. I must break you. He said there is no tomorrow twice. Ding, ding, which Carl Weathers just signed on a glove for me. When I got to meet him in August. And one of my all-time favorites, My Mother Hits Harder Than You. So he was a little surprised those were
My Mother Hits Harder Than That.
Anthony, what do you?
That,
my mother hits harder than that. Come on, Chip. You ain't so bad.
So bad. I love it.
Come on, man. You ain't so bad.
He's so bad. That was
nothing.
Anthony, what do you think about? I have my own thoughts, but what do you think about what Mike said?
About there were so many that were not in.
Just general thoughts. What do you think?
General thoughts on that. Sure. There's so many that were not in there. I struggled as I was going along to, should I put this one in?
Yeah.
Should I put that one in? Oh, but what about that one? I went back and forth and I scratched out so many that probably should have been in. It's, you get 7, 8 movies. It's very it gets very difficult to narrow it down to 10. And I guess we went by the consensus of, we said to everyone, send in your favorite quotes.
Right.
Or quotes that you think should be in the top 10.
Yeah.
and this is, we, like I said, we did a consensus. So this is what we showed is what everyone pretty much thought.
Right.
Right.
And then we came up with our own.
Yeah.
And like you said last week, it's very personal. Everyone has their own moments. Everyone has their own lines that they love because it means something to them. So it's very personal. It's tough. It's tough to throw them all in. Those quotes are great. Like I said, I struggle with so many more. Like there's still many that I, if the list continued, those would all be in there. But I went with the ones that I love the most, and I think were the most iconic. That's how I did it.
Right.
Stace, what do you agree?
Well, yes, I agree, and it is very personal because what one line means to me doesn't move another. But people have to remember, I got 97 separate quotes, so that means we left out 87.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If we did a top 25, I think we would have seen more of those. There is no tomorrow. We would have seen that one.
If we did a top 97, they'd all be on.
Yeah, maybe we have to do a top 100 one day. But
right.
We were all there. Everything he said was there. Yeah. It was just lower.
Yeah. Right. We went by like Stacy had this whole graph because that's what she does.
Oh my God.
And there was
a long week.
The ones that we got were the ones that were like repeated the most, like people sent them the most. So those have to be the top 10. So it's hard. It was hard.
For me, I think when I saw Mike's statement, I said, boy, I know what he means. And for me, I look at my own top 10, which changes drastically. It changes with the mood that I'm in, the day that I'm having. I may very well, if he dies, he dies.
The day you're pissed off.
Right. Exactly. And with the way society is now, there are subject matter that's all over the news. And quite honestly, I do say if he dies, he dies. I really don't care. But then there's the other side of me that comes out, and it's more maybe the Adrian factor, maybe some words that Adrian said. But I'll tell you, one of the lines that is a standard in my life is "I Don't Sweat You" by Paulie. One of my absolute favorites. I have a coffee mug, and every morning in the coffee mug it's "I don't sweat you," and on the other side it's Paulie with the look from the Meat House. Right? I love it. It's one of my favorite mugs. So, Mike, you have a very valid point. It's just I think it just depends on the day that I wrote that and sent them to Stacy for her to compile it. That's just what I was feeling in that day, but it could be quite different. And I would venture to say a lot of the listeners would too. They would probably say the same thing.
Yeah. I think with this movie more than any other movie, because of the emotion in it, it really gets personal because, like we said, every line or every quote means something else to somebody, or hit them harder than somebody, or motivated them more than another. That's what this movie does. And I think it's the hardest movie to pinpoint, top 10, top 20, whatever lines, because there's so much emotion in these films.
Right.
That it changes for everybody. And I think that's why it was fun and why it's, a lot of good ones get left out. But he has a good point. I see what he's saying because I struggled with it while I was doing it.
Well, something we didn't have to struggle with is sitting through the podcast Unwaxed with Sophia and Sistine Stallone.
It was good. They were adorable. It was so good.
For anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, they have a podcast called Unwaxed, and they talk about a variety of things. And I don't know who their core audience is, but they sucked me in on this one. They interviewed their dad, and it was great. And there it is. Oh, look at that. Look at you being ready.
Sly's Instagram. He posted this.
Yeah, right.
And I love the little video. I love the little trailer they did too. I don't know if anyone saw the trailer.
It's cute.
The trailer of like who was supposed to be coming, and they showed just Sly's feet walking toward him. It was good. It was cool. It was very cool.
If you get a chance, anyone, to please do yourselves a favor, hit just you could talk into your voice remote or type it in Unwaxed YouTube, and I think it's their 50th episode with Sylvester. And before that, Jennifer was on twice, and on her second time on the show, about 3/4 of the way through, Sly calls in on the phone, and Jennifer's holding up the phone to the screen, and they reenact the date, their first date that they had. And Sly says why he fell in love with her. And I just happened to catch that recently. I'm not a big podcast guy, but of course, anything involving Sylvester where I could learn more and see what makes them all tick, I'm kind of, into. So anyways, it was, it was very, very interesting.
That looks it. Seeing him with them, it was cute. It was just cute.
Yeah. Well, as a family, the way the girls tease him is
it's so fun. I think it's
right.
Great. And the way he is, and he bothers them, and I think it's great.
It's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's really got he's got such a sense of theatrics about him, obviously from his line of work, but also I think his humor, and they really this is something I knew personally for quite a long time, not because of anything Sly ever said to me, but I remember 1984 when Rhinestone came out. Mm-hmm. I remember choosing Rhinestone over Ghostbusters 2, going to see it in the movie theater. And I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan. Yeah. Well, in an interview, I don't know, I think it was on the Today Show with Dolly Parton, Sly said, "This is the closest to my actual character, who I am as a human." He goes, "There's parts of me that are Rocky. There are parts of me that are Rambo." He goes, "But Nick Martinelli, that's really who I am. I'm lighthearted and goofy and immature, and I say wrong things at the wrong times, whatever." He goes, "That's really who I am." Mm-hmm. And I know Rhinestone at the time was crucified. I mean, it was.
I loved Rhinestone.
I loved it.
I'm like 14. I don't, anything's funny at 14, but I remember leaving there loving it. I loved it, and people are just so not, like you said, they're not nice about it.
I think there's so many movies that he's done that get crucified more than they probably should have.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What
I loved, Drinkenstein, when he's when they talk about creating in the lab, Budweiser, you created a monster, and they call it Drinkenstein. I love that song. I think that song is fantastic. And then I also love at the very end the duet with Dolly Parton, because he goes into he realizes he's bombing. He is a horrible singer, really. I mean, it sounds like he's gargling with chainsaws nails. Or something. Yeah, right. It's not good. However,
nails.
The nails in the garden, but the thing is with Rhinestone, something happens, and I think we see a little bit of ourselves in Nick Martinelli on stage, where he knows he's failing in front of an entire audience. And what does he do? He turns around and he says, "If I'm going down my way."
That's right.
And then, "I won't you say after me, the show must go on." I don't know, something like that. Anyway, then he starts singing with Dolly Parton, "Stay out of my bedroom." I love that song. I could sing the whole song right now. It's that awesome. So if anybody's never heard of, some of our younger viewers have never heard of Rhinestone, go watch it.
Yeah,
and it's funny.
I can move on to the next subject now. Plugging Rhinestone.
Moving right along.
So here's I'm wearing this shirt that I'm wearing is in honor.
Full 10 points on that, honey.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. This shirt is in honor of what happened a little earlier today. And I have a little friend with me here today that I like to just hold up for the camera. Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go. So here we go. Seco the Rubber, happy birthday, Paulie. Okay.
Happy birthday, Paulie.
All right, here we go. So I just want to say today, when you all see this next week on Tuesday, which is tonight, Tuesday, okay, when you see this, the trailer for the director's cut of Rocky versus Drago will have already been out and set the world on fire, and it was phenomenal.
It was
what did you guys think?
It came out last week. Today.
It came out last week. Today. We're talking today, Tuesday, which isn't a week from now.
Right,
okay.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But when we did this, today is when it came out, and I
watched it 10 times.
I've been waiting for it, and all of a sudden, there it is, and I watched it 10 times.
Your face, Mike, in the post when you watched it.
Yeah, I know. I love it.
I
bet you did, Anthony.
I got this towel here. I needed this towel when I watched it. It was awesome. It was yeah, right. Just a little.
Right, I know. It was
Holy.
good.
But there were scenes right in the trailer that we hadn't seen. I was
Right,
like,
right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which got me to thinking, like, so you could see right away that there's gonna be some more heart in this. Like
different
I
feel.
could tell right
Yeah.
away. Like you could see it right away with some of the scenes, the conversations that
Anthony, there's got to be, maybe some people haven't seen it by now. Is there any way, can you throw that in right now and play it?
Yeah. Let's
all right, go ahead.
Guys, we are going to do an Rocky Files exclusive. We have the trailer.
One week later.
Yeah, 1 week later. Hey, if you haven't seen it, if you've been living under a rock for some reason.
Exactly.
Here it is.
There it is.
And we're back.
but yeah, I mean, there it is. And can you guys see that there's a little bit more heart in this one? I love already some of the scenes and some of the lines.
You can't do this to me. That's
that
the
I've
one
been
that
missing. Yeah, you can't do this to me.
You can't do this to me. I was like,
holy.
I love that, and then I even wrote it down just in case I got it wrong. But it's like when he says, "Here I go. Let me put my old fogey glasses on here." When he says to his son, "There's going to come a time when you know you're going to have to do things other people don't think are right, but they're going to be right for you. You got to do what you got to do." To me, that just echoes what he told his son in Rocky Balboa.
Yeah,
you know,
which makes more sense now.
Yeah, I mean, and it really all just kind of comes together. And for me, I really, I loved it. It was very emotional. There was a lot of thoughts going on in my mind. It took me back to the 80s, both the good and the bad times going through being a senior in 1985. Watching Rocky 4, and then I also jumped to my Dodge Daytona, my 1988 black Dodge Daytona,
right,
stick shift with the pop-up headlights. And you know, when Sue and I were dating in '89, I still had the car, and so I was. She'd wake up at like 2, 3, we'd fall asleep on the couch downstairs watching TV, and so I'd take her home. And she lived about 7 miles away in this little town called Taylor, and so I would start at the car, put No Easy Way Out in, and we just pull out of the parking lot and then just drive her home, stick shift, you know, right, look over your shoulder, you know what I mean? You reenact the whole thing, and she loved it too. She would love it. She always got a kick out of when the headlights popped up. And then one night I don't know, I think I slammed it into a wall by accident. I wasn't drinking, nothing. He
was looking into the back seat.
I was reenacting Rocky 4, the drive, and I don't know. I somehow ended into a guardrail, and I slipped on ice or some damn thing. I don't know what it was. And my insurance went from like $1,500 every like 3 months to like $6,000 every 6 months. Right. And my father was like, "Hey, guess what? You're not driving anymore, pal." I go, well, Dad, what am I going to drive? I need a car. And he goes, "Your mother has an 84 Chevy Citation. There's lots of rust on it. It's 4 doors, and it's a hatchback." He goes, "It's a really classy car." I go,
"Play easy, no way on that."
Yeah, it was a cassette deck. You remember when you have to like Jimmy rig the cassette deck? You'd buy one at the store, and it wasn't the same make and model. So it didn't fit in the dash exactly right.
There's gaps.
So gaps, exactly. So I hated that. So what I used to do, I used to have a boom box in the back seat, and it would take like 13 double D batteries. Yeah, exactly. Take me down to Funky Town. Right, so it was in the back seat, and I would hit play, and we would listen to the Rocky soundtrack on a lesser quality, cool car.
That's awesome. Okay, you know what? Doesn't matter what car. I had a Chevy Cavalier, and I was doing No Easy Way Out, and it wasn't.
Really?
It wasn't even close to anything he had. Once you're in it,
that's great.
Doesn't matter. Once that song's playing, you feel like you're driving that thing.
I can beat both of you.
What do you got?
What do you got?
I had a K car.
Really?
But it doesn't matter.
No, that kind of matters. Anthony, let's not be kind.
I had a K car.
Listen, Anthony, can we get out of our contracts? She had a K car.
I don't know. No, I don't know.
Anthony, she had a K car, Anthony.
Yeah, she had a K car. If I had known this before we started.
Yeah, exactly. There was what happened to full disclosure?
Yeah, right. Yeah. These talented people sometimes they don't tell you everything, right?
No. The more talented they are, the more they forget.
Right.
Hey, you told me I needed to be transparent and
that's
share
true.
my moments of shame. So there you go.
That's awesome.
Did you buy? Was that given to you, or did you buy it?
I inherited it from my sister-in-law.
Ah,
yeah.
When she carred up, and I
She
needed
didn't
a car.
buy the
Right.
K car. She needed a car,
I
and
needed
you know,
a
she had to
car. I
put
was
no
in
easy way out.
college. I had about 3 cents.
You were looking at
Yeah.
like an Audi or a Beamer, but you
Yeah.
know, K car.
K-car.
That's all right.
And she was playing no easy way out in that, and it was true.
I believe it. No, I believe it.
No easy way out of that.
She's trying to kick the door open from the other
Yeah,
side with like her
right,
nursing
exactly.
shoes on.
Yeah.
Just kick the door open.
No
Her
easy way out
scrubs
there.
would get caught on like the edge corner.
It was horrible.
Stupid
It was
car.
embarrassing.
Yeah,
I put on
stupid car.
sunglasses and a ball
Yeah.
cap. I
But-
went from that to a very fancy Ford Probe. So
There you go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
Remember those?
A
But
Ford
boy,
Probe.
what a great trailer. What a great trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great surprise today. And Sandra hasn't seen it yet. She doesn't know that it's out.
Oh,
gonna
really?
I'm gonna play it for her later. She's gonna go
Yes.
nuts because this
Yeah.
is her, you know, it's her favorite Rocky.
That's her
So
favorite
she's-
one, right?
Yep,
Oh,
it's her
that's
favorite
brilliant.
Rocky. We're
You
gonna
think
have
she'll
to go
like it?
See this? You know what? I'm not sure because she really loved the original so much. You know, she loved the action. She loved all the. So,
Yeah.
with a little bit of, you know what? How can you not? With a little bit of more heartfelt and you know,
Right.
scenes and it's still Rocky 4. I mean,
Right.
so
Does she?
I think she'll like it. Yeah.
Does she remember the first time she saw Rocky 4?
Yeah. It's because she saw it with her dad, so that's like why it's
Very
her favorite.
special.
Yeah, very special. Yeah.
Speaking of Sandra and Anthony, you
Yes.
submitted a picture of
I
you
did.
and Sandra for the
Oh.
Adrian.
Yeah.
My Adrian. We're gonna pop
My
it in
Adrian.
right here.
There it is.
There it is.
Oh,
are.
look at that.
Oh, isn't
There we
that
are.
Oh my
cute?
God. That is a beautiful top she's wearing. It's blue, red,
There we
pink,
are.
green, white, or black.
Yeah.
So,
There's Elvis, my butt kiss.
yes,
Elvis
your
is my
butt kiss.
Yeah.
And might I say, your possible beard, mustache, or no beard, mustache, you look very handsome.
I think
See-
it's beard. Yeah, beard.
That
See,
was
okay.
sweet.
Yeah.
See, for those of you playing at home, I don't know what picture they're putting up.
Right.
So I haven't seen it yet. So
Yeah.
we will play like after the
Yeah.
fact. We have
Post-
our
post-edit.
our home
Yeah.
office
That
in
was a
Where-
fun thing. That
but-
Oh, our home.
Where's
office.
our home office at? We're still in Henderson, Nevada, right?
yes.
We
They're
didn't, we didn't
packing.
move yet.
No, we
They're
didn't
All
move yet.
packing the truck to.
They're parking again.
Yeah,
Mm.
this week. This
Those
week we're
poor
still there.
bastards.
We're still there. There's no problem with anything. We're still. live from-
Okay. All
We're
right.
still
We're
live
still
from Henderson, Nevada.
okay. All right. I just
Yeah.
want to
We
be
didn't
sure
have-
on that.
We didn't have time to.
All right. All right. If anything changes, Anthony, you'll keep us up to date with our
course.
next episode.
Of course, where we are.
Right.
Yes, of course.
Mhm.
Speaking of where we are, did I ever tell you guys the first time I saw Rocky?
Never.
Never.
All right.
I never.
The
All right.
original. The original.
Yeah, the original. So that's why I'm not going to go into a whole thing because that'll take about 7 hours the psychological effect on that. So I'm going to be very,
That's
very
okay. We'll
concise.
split it up into parts.
So Rocky came out in 76 and I was 8 years old in 76. I didn't see it in the movie theater at that time. I saw it in 1979 on television. And my dad, for those of you who don't know, he was a master tailor. That's how he provided. And my mom stayed home to be, make sure my brother and I didn't kill each other or burn the house down. And after a little while, she went back to work and, so we had more money coming in. But there was a little time there where things were a little tight and there wasn't enough money for like a Halloween costume. And so my dad, being a tailor, he would cobble together stuff from around the house. And my first heroes were the Lone Ranger and Zorro. And most people watching aren't going to know this. I actually got a chance to shake the hand and meet Clayton Moore, who played the Lone Ranger in the old black and whites.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. And he was a huge influence on me as a kid.
Oh,
And that's a whole other great story about meeting the Lone Ranger. I mean, I remember it like it was yesterday.
that's awesome.
Pioneer days up at Forest City, just above Scranton. Anyways, so Dad would put together these costumes, and the only problem was I would wear them more often than not. I would wear it to school, or I would wear it at Christmas or Easter during the summer, and that was very odd. And so that set me aside. You could say I was the original social distancer. Nobody wanted to come anywhere near me because I was so strange. Yeah, no, it was very strange. So I would get into schoolyard bullies and everything, and I probably had too big of a mouth or whatever. I couldn't back it up. So I came home one day after a fight. My dad came home, and it's February of '79, and he hears the story. He's very sympathetic, and he says, "There's this movie on TV called Rocky." He goes, "It's about this guy who's a fighter." He said, he goes, "He's not the greatest fighter in the world, but that's not what really the movie's about. The guy keeps trying." So he said, maybe you could pick up some things for the schoolyard. Anyways, I watch it and I fall in love with this movie. Now you say to yourself, Mike, if you come from like a lower middle class family, mother, father, brother, loving home, what do you have in common with a 30-year-old guy smoking, who's a leg breaker, wearing leather, cut off gloves? He's a fighter. I was basically a coward as a child. I couldn't fight. And I was scared of my own shadow. And so, but the thing was, my mother read a book to me called Jonathan Livingston Seagull. And I've been talking about this quite a lot lately on podcasts that if I get interviewed on or whatever, or magazine articles, whatever. And it's about this bird, about this pigeon. No, I'm sorry, seagull who wanted to fly farther and higher and faster than any other seagull. But the seagull elders tell him, no, you must fly over the back of the boats and bring back the crumbs and food they toss over the side for the seagull community. And he said, okay, but he practices on his own. He forgets what everybody else tells him, and he does his own thing, which is a no-no in the seagull community. He breaks protocol. Anyways, it's a great book, and there's a lot of Rocky themes to this story of Jonathan. And when I saw Rocky at 11 years old, I said, oh, my God, it all just coalesced. Yeah, it all made sense to me. I said, okay, I saw these themes. But most importantly, Rocky was a loner, and so was I. I was a loner. I couldn't fit in. Square peg, round hole. So that night I went to bed. But the thing that got me at first, Anthony, I sent you a little something. I'd like to play that in just a moment.
Yep.
The music of Rocky, when we first see those big white letters coming across the screen, R-O-C, bum, 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 and it's called that song is called Fanfare for Rocky.
Yeah. But
there's an interesting story, a very tiny story about that, which is Bill Conti, as I consider myself a student of Rocky. Excuse me, Bill Conti is a student of music. So he came across this opera that's this Italian opera that's 400 years old. They would play this song when kings and queens would enter the castle in England like 400 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So and I think I may have mentioned it, but I don't know if we ever played this song.
Not here.
This is what inspired Bill Conti to write the Rocky music. And we only need to play maybe the first 25, 30 seconds. Anthony, could you play that for everybody? Changes.
There's a changes. Yeah.
That's the change. Wow. It's a little flowery there.
Yeah. Right. I don't think I knew that.
And so this is where Bill Conti, he took this and he said, okay, I got the beginning of this. This is great. He goes, now I got to make it my own.
Right.
Now we got to make this Rocky. And so it had been used, I think, earlier in 1972. I think Bill Conti had his hands in another Italian music something or other that he had used where there was another part. And you know what, Anthony, I didn't think of it until now, but you know when they Rocky and Apollo are saying ain't gonna be no rematch, don't want one.
Yeah.
The music that starts right there, that was part of this other compilation that Conti was working on. So he kind of put these things together, he expanded it, and then he put more of his own heart into it on top of what Sylvester had written, and it became this amazing. I mean, the music is like, it's just sweat and muscle, and it swells with dignity, and I think just
where would the movies be without it?
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine
Really
going the distance? All right, when he fights Apollo, right? You hear the bells. Originally, John Avildsen, I don't know what he was smoking. They wanted to put in Jimi Hendrix's Purple Haze. Bam, 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 bam. I mean, that would have been
I can't picture.
It would have been horrible. But then again, we wouldn't have had anything to compare it to.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
We wouldn't have had the going the distance to compare it to.
Yeah.
Anyways, that music, it just changed my life so much so. The night I go to bed, right after seeing Rocky, I grabbed my mother's little grease pencil. She used to write on the tin foil leftovers, and I wrote on the back of my sweatshirt, Italian Stallion. But yeah, so I wore it to school the next day. And back in the 70s, I don't know if you remember this, but back in the 70s, at least in the town I grew up in, teachers could slap you, kick you, punch you, humiliate you. And it was just another day of school.
Yeah.
Today, it's $1 million lawsuit for the family, and teachers go bye-bye. So, but honestly, a lot of us needed that slap back then. And I'm not saying it. If I had kids, I'd like to see that happen to them. I'm saying maybe I could use it. I'm not saying they were wrong. So the teacher pulls me up in front of class and tells everyone what's wrong with Kunda sweatshirt, and no one cared. And so he said, "This is the incorrect spelling of Italian Stallion." Okay, so right away it was bedtime for Bonzo. I mean, nobody wanted. It was just horrible. Anyways, when I was about 13 years old, and I'm gonna end it here. When I was about 13 years old, my grandfather, who was an old Scranton coal miner, he called me up after another fight I got into. It didn't go well. He called me up to his house and he said, "I got something for you." He goes, "I think it'll help you on your journey." And he gave me this old black hat and his black leather jacket, just like Rocky's, and it's right over there. It's remarkable how much it looks like Rocky's fedora. Wow. I thought I lost it, and when we had moved a few times, and I thought I lost the hat, but it magically somehow reappeared when we moved here to the house. Yeah. So there it is. And anyways, that really helped. Yeah, it really was a cape. It was my suit of armor, and I think as we go forward, I'll pick up the story with that, because I'm trying to working my way back to you, babe. The Rocky, the picture, the painting, that Sly sign.
Right, exactly.
I'm trying to bring all these stories to that point to go forward from there. So
we're doing the prequel.
Yeah, we're doing the prequel.
That's exactly. Such an awesome story.
And you know what? No one asked. No one asked to hear this story. I just said it.
Everyone loves these stories. Yeah,
everyone loves
the voices in my head. The voices
of these stories.
Tell the story. You haven't told it enough. Tell it again.
I posted the 15-year-old shorts today, so that was.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
So that'll go with it.
Yeah. I guess I was gonna. We didn't get to that because I know we're running short on time here. So, all right, Anthony, save those pictures.
I got them
for next week.
Okay,
and we'll lead right into the Italian market.
I love this one.
It's a great picture.
I love this one. I love this one because I don't know if I'd have the guts to do this, but
the cojones.
You are awesome.
My mother hid behind a car.
80s,
it was the 80s.
It's true.
It was the 80s.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
Man, oh man. That's anyways, awesome. Hey, listen. What do? We usually talk to somebody on this show, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Sometimes we have a guest. Yeah.
Is there anybody around? Does anybody care?
Is anyone? Yeah. Is anyone?
Stacy?
Yes.
Are we done? Are we out of here? Because I gotta tell you, I'm hungry.
No. Do people want to not be on the show? Like, are they like, that's enough?
I have a list.
I don't want to be on there again.
I have a list 20 out right now.
All right.
Really?
So we have this.
We're booking into December.
We could be into 22 right now.
20.
Nice.
Robert Kerr, he is one of our original fans. He's one of our moderators during the live chat as well. He has I don't want to give away too many details.
All right.
He has a unique struggle that he has certainly been has had some victory with, and he loves the Rocky music, and he's going to get into when he first saw, Rocky as a kid and what it meant to him. And he does have some disabilities he's going to talk about. And
Is he here?
He's here. Yep.
Bring him in, Anthony.
Bring him in.
Let's go, Robbie.
Hey, Robert, thank you so much for coming to the show tonight. We really appreciate having you here.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking me, Stacy, and thank you, Mike and Anthony.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Very welcome.
Mike, I just want to say that's a great documentary you put together, and I'm reading the Cue the Rocky music.
Oh, thank you.
What do you think of that?
It's awesome. I just like the style of it, how you're in the competition, flashing back and telling your story.
Oh, right.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I don't know a lot of big words, so they're all very small. I don't know how to spell very well, so I don't have a lot of big words. It's a fast read. You'll blow right through it, I promise.
I got to get my hands on that. I got to read that book, but it's good.
And
I heard it's good.
Just so you know, Mike and Stacy, me and Anthony made a deal on talking no football because he's from Toronto.
Right.
Liking the Argonauts.
Yeah.
And I like
Yeah,
the
we don't-
Ticats.
We don't get along. We don't get along.
So-
Oh, you're opposite sports teams.
Yeah.
So
right.
we made a deal. We shook hands. We made a deal. No sports talk.
No sports.
Rocky
No-
supersedes it.
No CFL talk today.
Robert,
No.
Robert, do you know what I do on Football Sunday here in America? I go
Put on
I go
Rocky.
I go antique shopping with my wife. I don't even watch sports. I don't even watch sports.
That's the best way to do it, Mike. That's the best way
No,
to do it.
seriously.
Really.
All right, listen, Robert, we got you here, and I know we don't have you long today. We got you. We like to usually go right around 15 minutes or so, maybe 20 minutes or so. Why don't you tell us what is it about Rocky? Why are you such a Rocky fan? What does it mean to you? Go.
Rocky, I love the line, underdog going the distance. I love that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he pushed himself to go. He pushed himself to go the distance.
Mhm.
And I just saw Rocky on the with his daughters on Wax podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
He hates it when they call it a boxing movie. It's a love story,
Yeah.
like you
Right.
guys always say.
Right.
And
Right.
so-
Right.
Yeah. It's true.
So I love that. I used to say to my mom all the time. My mom's in a nursing home now. My mom,
Mhm.
just joking around because she knows the movie too. Where's your hat?
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cute.
We always
Yeah.
joke around like
Nice.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Robert, tell us
Right.
about when you were born. You had mentioned in that email you sent to me some of the struggles from when you were born, from when you were a kid. You about your leg, and tell us about that if you don't mind.
Yes, I don't mind. When I was born, it was just you know how like 1 out of 9 people are disabled.
Mm-hmm. 1 out of 9, really? Wow.
Like somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I was born disabled. What happened was I was born with one leg smaller than the other,
Mm-hmm.
and I was born with my left hip socket out of the socket.
Mm-hmm. Oh my!
Oh.
Wow.
So when I was born, they had to do an operation to put the hip back in the socket.
Okay.
And a few years into every time I grew until I was 18, they had to do an operation because my leg would creep up
Gotcha.
like that.
Wow.
So they had to straighten it. So
Yeah,
I could wear
yeah.
a straight brace.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mhm. Wow. And you used Rocky through that time, the movies, the music, I think you mentioned.
Definitely Rocky 3. Rocky 3,
Rocky.
I had an operation
Mm-hmm.
on one of my legs, and especially the beach scene
Oh,
when
love
kind of
that.
Adrian kind of switches around on him and everything.
Yeah.
Mhm,
And he
mhm.
finally admits that he's afraid and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And when I got home from the hospital from the operation, my friends got the Rocky 3 poster and they had it on my wall.
That's nice.
Oh.
Nice.
That's really
So
nice.
nice.
So I saw that when I was about 9 or 10.
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite? Would you say that's your favorite?
I would go the original, but
Rocky 1.
I liked the interview person you had on, Mark, where he said he liked the whole storyline of it.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark Bomarito when
Yeah.
he said that.
Yeah.
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 I
like
think I think that's a very brilliant response, really, because
Yeah, it was.
it just tells a beautiful story.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
So-
there's so many little things. Go ahead, Stacey.
I was
Sorry.
gonna. I remember you mentioned to us that you wanted us to start asking a new question. Was that you? You were like, "Hey, a new question for your guests." I thought that was you, and you said
Mhm.
you need to start asking your guests what their favorite quote is. What's their most motivational
Okay.
quote? And I
Let's
didn't
start with
know.
Robert.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had.
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
What it was.
I always say the smaller ones, go for it.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's tough.
it ain't
We
hard.
asked
The
we
How
wanted
hard
to
you
do a
hit the
top 10. We're
speech.
asking him for one.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I know. Top
Right.
10 was
Hard.
tough.
We're asking him for one.
I know. Robert, let me ask you this. Do you have a favorite moment in any of the Rocky movies? Is there one moment that is maybe a go-to moment for you that gets you really motivated?
I always like. I know you said one, but I always like when he's knocked out and he's doing the dream cycle,
Yeah,
and either Mickey or himself or Adrian or someone is telling him to get up.
Mhm.
right.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it
I
goes
think
into slow motion and everything.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent response because quite often in our own lives when things go wrong and we are at a loss, we're at a personal loss, we don't know what to do, and we start to think
Mhm.
about those people in our own lives that love and care about us, and we cycle through like Rocky shows.
Yeah.
What does your partner, what does your spouse, your husband, your wife say? What would
Yeah.
your kids say, or your parents, or someone, your brother, or sister,
Yeah.
whatever?
Yeah.
And so that's really that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. It's,
Mhm.
I
it's so
also
true.
love that shirt.
I was just
That you
gonna
got.
say, is that a
Right?
Mighty Mix? Is that Mighty Mix?
Yeah, there
Yes.
you go.
Yeah.
He's prepared.
He
is.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's my brother looking out after me.
Oh yeah, nice,
Yeah.
nice. Now listen, Robert. Do you have any collectibles that you've picked up over the years from the movies?
Yeah. What's your Rocky stuff like?
I just have this shirt, another shirt. My mom got me a card, and my mom got me. It's like a little set, like it's a drive-in,
Mhm.
and
Right.
you push the button of one of the cars, and the Rocky theme goes on.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Like you at a drive-in.
Right.
Cool.
Oh,
And he's running
nice. I
upstairs
like
and he goes
that.
like that.
That is so cool.
Right. Yeah, I got that one too. I love that. I have that in a larger form, and then I have the same
Yeah.
thing as an ornament. That's really cool.
That's so cool.
And on the last show, you know that little pocketbook you just had, Mike?
Yeah.
That little Rocky 1, Rocky 2? I had that a long time ago. I don't know what happened to it, but I had that a long time ago. I got that at my college, and I had to do chores and my allowance for that. week to
Yeah,
get it.
right. That's how I got mine. That's the same way. Yeah, we were on our way to Gouldsboro. It was every Sunday in the summer. It was a local park that we would go to, and so we had to stop down there. I don't know, suntan lotion or coconut oil or whatever it was. My parents had to pick up, and so there was the spinning card rack right by the register, and it was like 1980. It was 79 or 80, and so you take. The book, the photo novel was there in this rack. I said, "Oh, Ma, look at this." And she bought it for me. I remember leafing through the whole book the whole day up at the lake. It was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah. See, Mike, you protected your stuff.
Most of it.
As kids, I had a lot of stuff.
We did.
Really?
I had stuff like figurines.
That was one thing. One thing with my mom. If you're not
the
going to
Rocky
get rid
1
of it,
book,
it's
the
going.
Rocky 2 book. It's gone.
What?
Like, it's gone. I don't know. Like it's gone.
Robert,
I don't know
what did your mother tell you?
She said, like, if I had stuff piled up in my closet and stuff, she said that's too much. If you're not going to clean it out, it's going.
That's
Right.
it.
So
Just like mine too. Yep.
So-
Yeah. You're not using it?
I dig in. I
Yeah.
dig my heels in when I'm told that. I'm like my wife. Okay, I'll just tell you a very short, funny story. So I have bins in the other room of my clothes neatly folded from the decades, and I've got 2 pairs of acid wash jeans, and I just know they're coming back.
You're
Okay,
just waiting for it, right?
I'm just waiting. Acid wash is coming back.
Yes, sir.
All
I
right.
believe it is. I believe.
Come on.
That's epic.
And my bum equipment shirts are back there. It'll be back.
Oh, they will be.
Are you gonna get them back on? Are they gonna fit you?
Let's not discuss that right now. Let's wait another 2 months.
We'll try it one day.
An episode of Mike's fashion show of all his
Yeah. I'll do
tries
that.
on all his old things.
And well, you know what, Robert? We'll bring you back on so you can throw like virtual tomatoes at the ugly outfits. Get out of here with that, you bum. No good. No good. You'll be like Mickey. We'll make you an honorary Mickey. And
I like that.
Just throw tomatoes at me on all my old clothes.
That's another favorite scene when Mickey comes to his house. Wants to be his manager. That's classic. That's
right.
Yeah.
You know what, Robert? You ever wonder what Rocky says to Mickey when he runs down the block after him? He puts his arm around him. Obviously, he apologizes. But what is Sylvester Stallone whispering to Burgess Meredith?
Yes.
I always wondered.
Yeah, I love how it's up to your imagination for sure.
Yeah. I do always wonder every time I see the scene. And you try to watch closer and say, what do you think? I've got
Yeah.
What is the extra talk? Like, I'll see you tomorrow, or
exactly.
And Mike, how many stories do you have of? I bought into, and I had to watch it again to check to see if you know how you said when he hangs the hat up, it's a knife.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, no, it's not. Like, I didn't see that.
Oh, really? You didn't see? Did you go back and check it out?
Yeah, and I'm looking at a knife, and I'm going, that's awesome.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I saw black and gray, but I didn't see a knife.
Right, and then you got to pause it. So you got to have like a DVD, DVD or a Blu-ray, right? And then you just pause it and you say, and then you start to see all the different knives around the room. Mm-hmm. And then you can see the close-ups of the pictures of his actual family, and then the gun. So I have a ton of stories, a ton.
Yeah. That's the stuff I like.
Stacy and Anthony have maybe wisely told me I have to reduce the stories I tell on my tours. So I'm coming up with other stories in my life that they're nowhere near as good, but like I'm still trying to. I don't want people playing Candy Crush while they're watching this, like my wife, right? I always goof on her. She's probably upstairs right now playing Candy Crush. And that's one of her favorite games. Anyways, I tell these stories and hopefully it'll make people laugh.
Right.
Oh, they're awesome. All your stories are awesome.
Thanks,
I love
Robert.
how the three of you all have fun together.
Robert, do you like our dynamic, the three of us together? You think we're pretty decent?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I like that too.
The only thing I might say
Robert's
is
one of our super OG original.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
How are you guys feeling on if Mike had a segment, Stacy had a segment, Anthony has a segment? Is that the way you're trying to do it?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So we each take a separate thing to talk about our own lives or something?
No, stay on Rocky, but each person has a segment.
Oh, yeah. That could work.
Listen, we'll have a thought.
Listen, Stacy, can you take a note and submit that to the home office in Henderson, Nevada?
Yes,
thank you very much.
Absolutely.
We appreciate that.
See what they say about that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And put an asterisk. That was Robert's.
Yep.
The green room was amazing, Mike. The green room.
Oh, really?
The waiting area? Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
That's good.
He's clever. I'll tell you, he's clever.
All the raw eggs you can eat.
I know. That's right.
Robert's one of our super OG fans. Robert, how did you first hear about us or see us?
Okay. I followed Lee McCoy's Drum Dums and a horror movie YouTube site.
Mm-hmm.
And he did Halloween and Jaws, so I followed those.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a top 10 list of his non-horror movies. And he went in to do the Rocky series, and he loved that.
Oh, right.
And then that got me into talking to people with his group. And then I met Jason Nike.
Yeah.
And then I was watching Jason Nike's channel. And then Chris, I think he goes by Apollo Balboa.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
He said he was on your show he had to do a taping of your show, and me and Jason said, "What's that? We got to get that. What is that? What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
So then,
just people talking, and that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Look at that little Ruth. Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
and
Robert,
that's with horror movies.
Yeah.
Robert, listen, I know you told us right before the show you're having dinner with the mayor, so I know you're a very busy guy. I don't want to keep you
the mayor of Hamilton. I
don't want to keep you too much longer. But listen, I like to ask fans everybody that before we say goodbye to them, if you had 30 seconds in an elevator with Sylvester Stallone, 30 seconds, what would you say to Sly?
I would just say thank you for the biggest influence in my life besides family. I include friends with that. So thank you for the influence with that. And one of my friends said it best. Thank you for being the best imaginary friend anyone can have for 40 odd years. So
nice.
Thanks for that.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's
well
true.
Well said, Robert. Well said. Stacy,
I'd
Anthony.
hold the door open for him too.
Yeah, you probably would, right?
Yeah.
Smart guy.
That makes 4 of us.
Mike, is he by himself or with his family?
Just by himself.
Okay.
Just by himself.
Always by himself.
Anthony and Stacy, before we let Robert go enjoy the rest of his evening, you guys got anything you want to say or ask him?
I'm going to let him know that he gave me an idea. I'm going to be doing the what did Rocky say to Mickey in that scene. I'm going to put that out as a contest.
That's good.
Look at
That's
that.
Good.
great.
I like that.
Compliments, Robert. Thank you.
And I'm
Well
going to
done,
highlight
buddy.
your name in it, saying, "Hey, Robert gave us this great idea," and then we'll pick the best one. So thank you. That was an awesome idea.
Done.
May I ask a question to Mike?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So Sly was in my town doing a charity event, and it was $1,000 a plate.
Okay.
And my mom's friends wanted to give it to me and do it, but I hesitated because I thought if anything goes wrong or anything happens, I'm gonna have a different take on meeting Sly and Sly.
In other words, you mean if he was rude or not what you hoped?
Yeah, not what I hoped.
Yeah. Okay.
How did you feel when you met him? Like, were you like that? Like, were you hesitant?
No. I wasn't hesitant. I was afraid that he wouldn't accept me because of my own insecurities, because I wasn't good enough. Not that he was going to be rude or mean. I was afraid he would be, go away. You're not worthy of, being in this arena of being a Rocky fan. It sounds silly and almost goofy, but that's what went through my mind. And he couldn't have been any more gracious. Sylvester Stallone is everything you would want him to be when you meet him. He's very gracious.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
Yeah, we all have those. We all have those.
Sure.
I think about it all the time. If the chance ever comes, I'm gonna be a goof. I know it. I'm gonna be a goof. I won't even be able to say anything. It's gonna be awful, but maybe it won't. But that's what you always think, right? You're gonna sound like just an idiot, but
right.
I always get hypnotized by Stacy's poster behind her.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's so
good. Fantastic.
This one here, yeah.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
Robert, thank you so much for stepping up and chiming in and talking with us here today. We really, really appreciate it. And Robert, when we say goodbye to everybody, what we always say: keep punching.
Thanks.
Bye, Robert.
Thank you, buddy.
Take care, my friend. Thank you.
Good luck out there. Good luck out there in the hammer.
Thanks.
See you, buddy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, yo, Robert, huh?
Yo, Robert.
Yo, Robert, pinch hitting. Now he did pretty good. I tell you what. I was impressed. He seemed like such a lovely human. I wouldn't mind having a burger with him and talking life. So, absolutely. Robert, thank you, Robert. It was very. I'm so glad we got a chance to talk with you. Thank you.
Yeah, he was a really nice guy. You can tell he gone through some struggles, and
sure.
I really think Rocky helps him. Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Get over some stuff and get through some stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think, this is the nursing thing, you know, hearing when you're a child born with some sort of congenital disorder like that, you are looking at years of surgeries because you're growing. So whatever they do for you at 5, now you've outgrown that. So now they have to do surgery again to catch up with your growth. So it's like you're getting hit with that surgery every so many years, and it's just so cool that he had Rocky there to help him through, because that's painful. Any orthopedic surgery like that's painful. So
I can't imagine.
You know, I wonder if like other people are out there, and I guess there are, but like I wonder in our bubble, in our Rocky bubble, we all go to, you know, what would Rocky do and for inspiration and so on. Like I wonder, do you think there are people out there like what would JJ Walker do, or what would Grandpa Walton do if this happened to me? Like I always wondered,
like fans of other things.
Oh, you're right. Like what would Brad Pitt do? What would James Bond do? What would the Bourne crowd of Batman? Exactly. You know, I do wonder, like, do you think there's other like podcasts out there? There has to be, right?
Oh, sure. There's gotta be, you know, the Star Wars people.
For sure.
Indiana Jones people, sure.
But do they say what would they do? Like I'm sure that those podcasts are out there and they discuss the character and what have you, but I don't know if they do what we do, and you know, what would Rocky do? I don't know.
We'll have to surf.
I'm gonna say we're very unique.
I think we are filling a niche.
I'm gonna say we're very unique.
I think we are filling a very unique niche, which is
so too.
It's kind of good. So hey, listen, before we get out of here, what else do we want to talk about?
Yes, Michael.
What else?
You must have another story. Well, I can do a quick shame. I have 2 quick shameless plugs if you want to do that.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
If I do too many stories, people are going to be like, he's talking.
You don't do too many.
No, there's no way. There's no way that they would say that.
I got a phone call. I got a phone call from a cousin, a friend of a cousin who was best friends to a guy who married a girl who was dating 2 guys that I knew in high school, and that person's and they said, Mike, you're talking a little too much. Okay? Mike, we need more of this from Mike. Okay.
I don't think so. I
got
it. But anyways,
Stacey, what are our plugs?
What plugs, Stacey?
Okay, so J-Man's Movie Cave, want to plug him. He gave us a very nice review. So right now he is in the process of going through Rocky 1 through 6, including Creed 1 and 2, and giving lovely reviews. And so he has completed 1, 2, and 3. And so you go to J-Man's Movie Cave on YouTube and listen to his reviews. They're only about 30 minutes. But what I love about him, his sincerity. It's like, you know, I put in one of my reviews and I was like, for those of us who feel like we have to tamp it down because, you know, those around us aren't quite as crazy as we are. You know, he gets so into it. He's so passionate about his review. And I was just like, oh, he was a joy to watch. So I just wanted to push people with him. And then of course,
we had fun on his show.
Yeah, and we were on his show. So yeah, you can go look at our episode too.
Yeah, go check it out. We were on there.
But
we were.
Yeah, we had fun. We were on there for over 2 hours.
I think that's the one I drug out my Beast cologne. One.
Yes.
I like that.
You said you were going to drive an arrow through his head at one point.
I did say that.
That was funny.
The Rambo arrow.
Oh, he made fun of Rambo too, and
you made fun of Rambo too. You didn't like that,
right? I think that's the one. Stacey dropped the big F-bomb on him, right?
Yeah. She said a bad word.
Stacey's that's stereotypical. Boy, for those who don't know, you should have saw it. Anthony wasn't recording before the show, and we had a little we had a little conversation going, and Anthony and I. We said we had a catchphrase, and we said something, and then I kept trying to get Stacey to say it. She's like, and then Anthony and I both threatened that we're going to tear up our contracts with the home office.
We weren't going to do episode 12,
and we got Stacey to curse, and it was so funny. It was so funny, but we didn't record it.
Yeah, there's no proof, and so it's all lies.
That'll teach me to not like always record.
As soon as we sign on, boom.
Yeah, hit it because you never know what's going to happen in those pre-show meetings.
We really do funny things.
Yeah,
I mean, One of the things Sue always tells me, like, I don't always laugh when she tells me a joke or something.
Yeah, right.
But like if my brother-in-law tells me a funny story or whatever, I'm just like, that's good. But I don't.
Right.
I'm a tough guy to make laugh. I'm always complimentary. That was a good story. No, I remember. But there are times something really strikes me that I don't see coming, and that's when it catches me off guard. I find that the funniest. And so you know, it's some of the moments that we share, I don't see coming, and I do really find it's funny.
Right.
No, yeah, we gotta start. We got some stuff. I told you one day it's gonna be the Rocky Files.
We'll just have a compiling.
All the outtakes,
gonna compile stuff. Yeah, but
that'll be the show. We'll just all sign on.
Be the show.
Hey, Blooper Reel. Here we go. See you. Goodbye. And the whole
clip show, just those clip shows.
Exactly. We'll just be sipping margaritas and eating cashews while the thing is going. That's it.
Yeah.
Screw it.
But the J-Man, he was cool.
J-Man, big J-Man.
Cool.
Great. And the detail, that was the other thing. Some of the details he mentioned where I was like, yes, you know, so he picks up some unique things. Yes, he does. Right. He knows his Rocky. And then another company I'm actually getting involved with is called Mentel Clothing, and it is to bring awareness to men's mental health. And so you'll be seeing plugs. I started doing that. I just got involved. It literally materialized over the last 2 days. And there's going to be a great concept. There's a lot more coming from this company. They started with just clothing. The original goal was just to raise money through t-shirts and so forth, to raise awareness for men's mental mental awareness. But now he's doing short videos. He's thinking about a podcast. He's thinking about almost like a matching site, so that perhaps two guys who are struggling with the same thing can support each other. So I want people to go over to look at Mentel Clothing, and Mentel is spelled MENTELL Clothing. So go check them out.
That's
please.
awesome.
Fantastic.
I've seen them on Instagram.
Yeah,
and it's cool. I like what they're doing.
Yeah, spread the word. They're going to be big very quickly, I think. So for sure.
Anthony, how's the plumbing business going?
Very well.
Good.
Just very well.
Good.
Consistent. Regular.
It's
regular.
It's
man. See, here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
Right down the road that we did before.
Right down the tubes.
Right down the tubes.
All that is so good. It's so good. I just want to say, you know, when we were talking about the whole fitness thing in the beginning, starting Monday, I'm going down a very ugly 28-day path. There's a challenge coming up. So, guys, if I'm not around next week, maybe get another host just for like the month. Maybe
you've evaporated. You've gotten so lean, and you're so like, how can we say, you're like Rocky 3. You'll be so lean, your hair will have veins.
Yeah, so I was actually thank you. I was thinking more along the lines of like full body cast. Like I wouldn't be able to move for the month. But anyway,
just think how fast you'll be when you get it off. Huh?
Yeah, right.
What is the plan for 28 days? Like, what are you expected to do?
Next 28 days is a dumbbell challenge, which I will be doing 5 days a week, an hour or so, 5 days a week of dumbbell metabolic exercises. So it's going to be quite intense. So that's coming up. So
you have to do a before and after pose.
Yeah, we'll see at the end of the month. But like I said, if I'm not around, keep going.
Let me know when you get to the bench pressing Buick contest.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Where I the Hulk Hogan.
Right,
Rocky.
exactly.
I can pick someone up square over my head.
We'll have a camera just following you out to the Hulk Hogan theme. Dun, 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 dun. And just keep slapping yourself like Hulk Hogan did.
Yeah, just
give you a big Fu Manchu.
I was gonna pick up the CN Tower. I was gonna pick up the CN Tower here in Toronto and just.
Could you imagine 24-inch?
That's all I got.
24-inch arms. That's amazing.
Right? I know it's crazy. But
guys,
great show, guys.
I've had a fun time.
Great show. Yeah.
I'm gonna go find the volume knob on my shirt and try to turn it down a little bit. And It's a little loud, but it is an ode to Rocky IV. And you can't tell, it
works.
It is works. An image from every image from Rocky IV. It's all put in little tiny 2-inch squares. And there you go.
Trailer day, so it worked.
Trailer day. Sue won't let me wear it anywhere else, so I just wear it here.
We'll put it up. Yeah, we'll put it up at the end. Yeah.
I'll take a good picture of it.
Yes.
I'll take a good picture of it. I'll take a picture of the tags on how to get it. I'll send it to you guys. Send it to you, Anthony, on WhatsApp, and that way you'll be able to,
we're gonna put it right after, right at the end of this. So that's awesome.
Guys, I will see you next week.
Always keep punching.
Yo.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Take it back. Take it back. Yeah. Take it back. Take it back.
The original Rocky came out in 1976. My uncle taped it for me, and I watched it in 1978 when I turned 6. With the whole family watched it. My uncle, my dad, my brother, and my mom. What hooked me at first was the underdog that goes the distance. I just loved the whole thing, everything about it. The exercise, the workouts, the whole thing. Even that he lost, I loved it because it was the underdog that went the distance. He went the distance, and after that, he wanted to find Adrian and start that relationship, so I loved the love story of that side of it too. Then I heard Rocky 2 was coming out, and I was pumped for that because I thought, okay, he's going to get his revenge and win. So when we were at the cottage in Kincardine, Ontario, we usually go to another place called Port Elgin, Ontario, and they have twin pad theaters. We watched the second one and that one. And half our family went to see Escape from Alcatraz, and half went to Rocky 2. And that was an amazing theater experience because, the build up, and then everything slowed down. And back then, everyone was concentrating and what was going on with Adrian. You all know the scene, and the baby and everything. And then when she says, "Win, Rocky, win," the place exploded. Mickey says, "What are we waiting for?" The place goes nuts all throughout the rest of the movie. The place goes crazy. And then we all know what happens at the end. Rocky wins. My dad says to me, if Rocky doesn't win this, they're going to burn down the theater. And me and my friend were just killing ourselves laughing. Just couldn't stop laughing, having so much fun. Pure entertainment. I love that movie. Then the next one comes, Rocky 3. You get Hulk Hogan and then Clubber Lang, Mr. T. And that one was just before one of my leg operations. I'm disabled. I was born with one hip out of the socket, my left side, and my left leg is smaller than my right leg, so I wear a long brace to help me walk, to even things out to help me walk. That was motivation to get me through that operation, that movie, because the speech with Adrian and Rocky on the beach, and just the whole turnaround with him and Apollo, my training and everything, just got me through that operation. And when I came home from the operation, my family friends got me the Rocky 3 poster, and my parents put it up in my room, so when I came up to my room to have a nap or relax or whatever, the poster was hanging up, so that was a big surprise. And I was super pumped, and I probably overdid it watching the movie because I was probably sick, just overpumped. So that was great. And then Rocky 4 comes out, and 1985, I think, and I was super pumped for that. No, I don't like it as much because it's just like everyone says, it's just like a long music video. I love the music and the fighting and everything in it, but my Rocky is like the older, heavy style of Rocky, you know, beat up and everything, and you know, and then Rocky 5 came out. I liked it, but with the street fight and everything, I liked it, but it's just not as good as the other ones. And then that's 1990, and then he had a 16-year break until he made Rocky Balboa. And Rocky Balboa, I was skeptical because, you know, he's older. You don't know how he's going to go with the movie. And then that movie I didn't see in the theater. I saw 2, 3, and 4 in the theater. And I waited because my friend's dad was sick. So I waited to watch with him and my mom and the person's wife. We had a blast doing that movie. I loved it because that weekend my brother watched it and he loved it. And I saw a review of Richard Roper review and he loved it. And I was, okay, I'm pumped now because this is happening now. I'm really pumped about this. And I just loved how he turned that little story of part 1 of Little Marie, what she said, and turned that into a story about her and the son. And he gets back into fighting again, being older. And I just loved it. I loved the speeches. The son was excellent. Paulie's excellent. I loved it. And then the idea, I know it's not Rocky's, but the Creed, that was a cool idea because we all know, we were hearing jokes about the son of Creed. He's fighting the son of Creed probably around Rocky 3. So that's awesome that they did Creed and Creed 2. I love the spin on Creed 2 on fighting the Drago's son. I just love the series and it's just awesome, man. I love it. It's my favorite series of all time. I just love it.
Men cry.
Men get depressed.
Men break down.
Men have suicidal thoughts.
Men have emotions.
Men get abused.
Men get sexually assaulted.
Men suffer with mental illness.
I know what it's like to be afraid of
your own mind.
Just because you ask for help
doesn't make you someone. You may not want to exist right now.
But someone is very happy that you do.
I'm fine.
Is the biggest lie.
Men tell every day.
We're told to man up instead of speak up.
Suicide remains one of the leading causes of death worldwide. Get into therapy.
Talk to someone.
So we can heal.
Day by day.
We need to encourage men to speak up.
We know that it's super inspiring.
Speak up for men's mental health.
Because fighting for men's mental health matters.